MDQ, that is a Mudhoni drama queen with Kenyan Macy. And it's 3 minutes past 8 p.m. We just ushered in the second hour of the show, and coming right up is Dufla Diligan with Juya Meza. And my name is Atieno, your host every single day from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on Baze Radio. Now, as I said a couple of minutes or like the last hour, that today we are going to be doing the show a little bit differently, right? We're going to bring in the third hour to the second hour and the second hour to the third hour. So instead of us getting juicy from 7 p.m. to 8, we'll be getting juicy and saucy with Boi Blacc from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. But before that, Dufla Diligan with Juya Meza, then TJ BLK with Can't Stand It. That was TJ Blacc, and allegedly she's this big person that I'm supposed to know where unajua falipupa. Tuanzia hapo Mr. Producer. Anyway, coming right up is anasijasikia vibaya. My Fenagitu featuring Zugush. But before that, in the studio with me, I have a rapper.
Yep.
Right? And anajiita Boi Blacc. Right? And I'd just love to know, first of all, umesema we ni rapper, you've done you're doing hip hop, if I'm not wrong.
I do hip hop, yeah.
So I'd love to know, when did you realize that you actually have this talent of rapping? Is it in high school, the way multiple people discover they have talents? Yeah. Shule umegasiwa up na kamdemo kamwa boom. Now let me be a rapper to prove something to this babe. So how did you know you can rap?
I mean, kwanzia tu high school unajua kuandika mistari, listening also to zile mangoma tu nilikuwa nasikia nikiwa high school and everything, and then guys used to freestyle. And I actually gave it a try and realized by then tunapenda.
Yeah.
And then tukapatana na boys kadhaa, tukachanga, tukaingia studio ya kwanza, and I think from that point on kajua mazee ini stuff napenda kudu, like kitu I'm passionate about, and the rest is pretty much history. So as it is, I guess ilifika tu point nikaanza sasa ku experiment na even other genres outside of hip hop.
Oh, like
R&B. Yeah, so there's a jam we did recently with a very talented singer called Njiru.
Okay.
Which was actually challenging for me, but basically by then it's a learning process, yeah, because in as much as rap is hip hop is very static and straightforward for me, working with a singer, an actual vocalist, it's challenging. It's challenging because now you actually have to put in your work and everything, especially when it's someone who's really talented. Yeah.
So you did a collaboration, just a mixtape with Kill Hippie.
Yeah.
So talk to us about it.
So actually the Black Circle was I'll call it the first album we did with him, me and him. And before that we did like a collaborative mixtape with a group of artists. There was Kiwango, there was a good number, there was Leroux. And I guess at that point in time ndo pasa pali nilijua naweza anza ku experiment na different genres outside of hip hop, but ideally there's the extent of my catalog, most of it has been produced by Kili Hippie, because he is extremely talented and detailed in terms of curation yake ama sounds, the samples that we use. So tumefanya mangoma kibao sana na Kili Hippie, some of which now ended up in the tapes that we did, and now the album called The Black Circle, and it will release around I believe 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the producer behind The Black Circle?
That's Kili Hippie from end to end. Well? Yes.
Oh, so he's like a producer or something.
He is a producer. He helps me write, so we've co-written with him.
He's talented for sure. A producer, a writer,
yes,
and whatnot. Now, when you come back, I would love to know how do you your music style. Msemanga, you blend languages. I would love to know how you basically do that in the next few minutes. And coming right up is Fenagitu with Sijasikia Vibaya, then Calligraph Jones with 8 p.m. in Nairobi. That is 8 p.m. in Nairobi by Papa Jones, and it's 25 minutes past 8 p.m. Karibuni sana to Baze Radio. My name is Atieno, your host every day from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. usiku on the 6 to 9 with Atieno hapa Baze Radio. Now, tonight in the studio with me is Boi Blacc, and he's a rapper. He has collaborated with Kili Hippie na tumesikia ngoma yao inaitwa I Don't Know. And coming right up is Cheza Ndani, once again by Kili Hippie. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. And Boi Blacc. Now, before that short musical break, I would love to know that how do you, with your music style, uniquely blend languages?
I guess it comes with just being in the country we are in Kenya. You find we're having a conversation like this, alafu mazeni shakurusha tunaongea Kiswahili.
Yeah.
So it's basically just derived off of how we have our conversations, where we tend to mix Sheng and English, and ideally just the languages that we speak here.
Yeah.
So just it's carrying that over from conversations to now writing my music. Yeah. So it's ideally nika to have conversation venye tuna have sahi, where I'm transitioning from English to Swahili, and it's pretty regular.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned stories and languages that it's basically something normal that us common wananchi in Kenya do it.
Yeah.
We tunatoka kiasi yake English tunaingia Kiswahili tunaichapana Sheng, then at times mother tongue.
Yeah.
So I would love to know, how does your music reflect Nairobi's culture aside from the language part?
Aside from the language part, I'd say experiences.
Okay.
I'd say experiences. At a point in time nilikuwa dhani zile vitu mi labda nimepitia zile experience nimekuwa nazo ni unique kwangu, unaona. But after having people listen to your music and give you feedback and tell you that they relate to it, then you realize by this stuff si wewe pekee. Kuna msee ako mtaa, mnaweza kuwa Mirema, mwingine anaweza kuwa Udhiru, wherever, but where we have our common let me say experiences are actually embodied by some of what I share in my music. So I think at that point don't get kujua kanaongea zile kuhusu zile struggles nilikuwa nazo kampo, ama labda nilipigwa ka character development fulani, si ati ni mimi pekee.
Ushacharazwa though?
Mara kadhaa. Mimi ni stude. So yeah, I think basically hivyo tu, nikiandika kuhusu zile experiences zangu, kuhusu zile vitu tunafikiria, hata katseme labda na event kwa ingoma fulani, ilikuwa tu feeling fulani na nilikuwa na interact na waseka tu waseka, you know. Yeah. So ideally I think hivyo ndo, that's the best way I could explain it.
Relatability.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense. So I would love to know about ingoma ya Cheza Ndani, what basically inspired you to come up with that name, and what does it consist of? Like ingoma nikisikia nitakuwa nasikia mbona.
So Cheza Ndani ilikuwa ka experience fulani where kuna hii, what's it called, where you feel like you might be in love with someone, but I feel like I was at a point in time where I was too young to understand what that meant, and it was a phase. So unapata wewe maze una feel nika mimi nilikuwa feel nika na dai udem, but upon reflection or in hindsight I realized maze nilikuwa tu na dai stuff zingine. I get like it wasn't necessarily love. It was more of youthful, let's say, lust. Yeah.
Lust si mapenzi?
Si mapenzi, sema ni mapenzi.
Interesting. I can juggle your mind kiasi yake. It's fine. Lust si mapenzi.
Please do.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Cheza Ndani by Kili Hippie featuring Boi Blacc. Enjoy. So, featuring Beatty with Pop. It's 22 minutes to 9 p.m. You're about to wind up today's show, but in the studio with me is Boi Blacc. We have basically addressed his collaboration with Kili Hippie. Tumongelelea how he blends languages, also how his music kind of reflects Nairobi's culture. And I would love to know, right, when it comes to storytelling. Kiasi yake, address, please tell me about it, because a lot of artists in Kenya, they don't tell stories. Ni tu nilipatana na ndio fulani Mirema, anishika sijui nini. Okay, I don't like that artist if I'm being quite honest. So how do you tell stories in a unique way, but through songs?
I think nikaa tu inaitwaje, tukiwa chuo kuna venye ungepewa ending ya insha ama mwanzo wa nini, whatever, and then now you have to kind of come up with a story. So saa zingine unapata now like Kili Hippie atanitumia maybe a beat pack or a specific track which ukisikiza tu it has a specific theme. So it's for example, it could be a party theme. For example, it could be something that sounds nostalgic. Na based off of your two theme venye na sound, it will influence a lot what you're talking about. Ita influence ka ini track yenye nataka uambiane story, and that plays a big part into it. But I think of it as you're writing a story, and saa zingine nataka udig deep, so itachukua muda as opposed to unajua kuna hizi tracks where you can just knock out a 16 unaandika ni ma punchline after punchline, but kani story kuna venye inataka ufanye introspection kiasi where you actually sit down and try and reflect, you know, whatever it is you're talking about, whether ni experience fulani yenye ulipitia, and but basically it has to be, all the thoughts have to be cohesive, because unaweza kuwa na train of thought hapa lakini ikifika certain point in time unaenda off topic kidogo, na that's, I guess hiyo ndio inakuwa frustrating kiasi, unaona, but so it takes more time when you're telling a story, and I feel like that's why a lot of artists, some rappers will shy away from it. Alafu pia inachukua sasa ile wekuwa pia vulnerable, unaget, ile utaongelea zile vitu maybe ideally you would not be comfortable talking about them with anyone else, so when you bear it all on a track, saa inakuwa ni hiyo ni truth yako tu, unaona.
So I would love to know, as we wind up on today's interview, what makes your music both relatable, and I think you have spoken about the relatability, basically experiences zako za mse mwingine, then intertwining languages, Kiswahili, English, Sheng. So I would love to know what makes your music impactful to your listeners.
I guess I want to say uniqueness, because I mean, it just feels like every artist would say that their music is unique. But tuko place yenye sini wa Africa, we like, you know, Afrobeat, we like to dance. So when you approach music from the perspective where unasema me, the genre I'm going to do is hip hop, I'm going to do boom bap, ni kama make stance, because ukiangalia hapa hata kwa scene yetu tu, most of the music we listen to ni ma urban tone, dance music, but hip hop, other than a few artists, you know, Asika Calligraph, Akina Jovi Jov, BT, it's something that people ideally don't really resonate with huku. And I feel just because of that, inaimeki kuwa unique, because ukienda huku nje ni gengeton, ni urban tone, it's a lot of dance music. So ukichagua kufanya hip hop, which I chose to do, instinctively or naturally tuta stand out. And I feel like that's what makes it unique, because pia audience yako si bigika awase wengine, exactly, it's not as mainstream. So like ukipata ule mse literally amesikiza stuff zako, amesikiza your discography or your albums, then ina show that clearly this is something unique, this is not isi kitu ya kila siku, unaona.
Okay. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was Boi Blacc. And as we wind up this interview for the last time, Chaukwela, where can we get your music from, and where can we get basically your handles? Let us know.
All right. So, I mean, Instagram _ Boi Blacc, that's BOIBLACC. You can find my music on basically all streaming platforms.
Okay.
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. What else? I mean, also later this year, I have releases lined up for this year. I have a tape coming out later this year, and a bunch of shows. So yeah, pretty much that's it. Kuna stuff kibao zina come.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to actually getting through those.
Do you know the date of any of your shows? It's something that you're planning?
It's something I'm planning, but as regards releases, uko around June. That's when I'm going to be dropping the tape.
Okay. So you'll definitely be on the lookout on your social media handles, _ Boi Blacc.
_ Boi Blacc. BOIBLACC.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining. Coming right up is Upset by Boi Blacc. Then Major with Where Decide. Then Through My Teeth, once again by Boi Blacc featuring Njiru. Enjoy.
This is Baze Radio.
We are 254 to the core.